Okay, so if you've already seen this video and you just want to go straight to the stretching and the instructions and all of that, fast forward to the time displayed right here or click on the time in the description below. But if you're still watching right now, then what's up PK family? My name's Nonstop Parkour, and today I'm going to teach you how to stretch. Well, I'm not really going to teach you how to stretch. I'm going to show you my stretching routine in hopes that you create your own stretching. You know what, let's just get into it. So I've made it very clear in a lot of my vlogs and YouTube videos that it's very important to stretch if you want to be able to perform at your best when you train. Now, it's pretty obvious, but I'll say it just so people don't get pissed in the comments below. This isn't the correct way to stretch, or this isn't the correct stretching routine. This is just my stretching routine, just like everyone else has their own. This is more of like a baseline for you guys, and you can just take whatever you want and take out whatever you want from this stretching routine. Now, when I mean stretching routine, I mean more of just warming up, actually. So overall, just getting your body warmed up. Now, when I warm up, I think of warming up two things: the muscles and the joints. Now, when I think about warming those body parts up, I think about two things first to warm it up. First, you need to loosen up your muscles and your joints, so stretch. And then you need to activate it, so warm up. So like, do light exercises. Not things to make you tired, but just ones so that you get the blood flowing. But you know, let's get to it. Now when I think of what to stretch, you basically just go from the top of your body to the bottom, or vice versa, whatever you want to think about. I go from top to bottom. So first thing, head, which you can't really stretch that much, but right next to it, the neck. The neck is a very important thing to stretch because you like clench your neck whenever you do any type of motions. Any type of hard impact motion, well, whether you're going to be going to a roll, whether you're going to be flipping, you're going to be tensing your neck. Now to warm this up, I just think about rolling my head around, just ragdolling 5 times slowly on each, in each way, and then 5 times a bit faster just to warm it up. So let's do it. So when I think about slow, I think about this speed, just so that you're not really pulling anything really quick if your neck is really tight. And then you just do this 5 times. And then the other way. And now basically that same thing, just a bit faster, now to kind of warm it up. So this is what I think about faster. Other way. Now hopefully after you do that, you might be a little bit dizzy just because you're constantly moving your head around, but you should still feel a lot looser in your neck. Now when you're done stretching your neck, you gotta think about the next part of your body. So next thing lower is your shoulders. So for these, I do a bunch of shoulder warm-ups, just because my shoulders are always really sore after training, so that means I use them a lot. I don't really know where, but I do. First stretch is just shoulder rolls. So I do 5 to 10 on each way, so just like this. 4, 5, 10. Since these don't take long, I just do 10 of them. So now the other way. Now the next one is, I have no idea what these are called, but just this. I do 5 to 10 on each side, on each way as well. Other way. Other side. Now I've basically warmed up my shoulders. Next thing lower is the arms, which means bicep, tricep, and chest, I guess. So just to knock out the biceps and your chest, I do this warm up. So here, and then as far back, and then here, and then as far back. And when you're going backward, you wanna try to keep your thumb in a fist and keep your fist pointing outward. You don't want it like this or anything like that, just so you can stretch out your bicep a bit more. And then I just do about 10 of those, since it doesn't take too long. After each one, you would go the opposite way. So if your right arm is on top, then you would go right arm on the bottom on the next one. Simple enough. So let's do that. Hopefully you feel a bit looser in your chest and kind of in your biceps. This next one, for me personally, what I can feel it, is shoulders, biceps, triceps. So basically, back, and then you want to try to punch your back. So you're going to bring it back, and then all the way back around. So like this. And then when you're bringing it back, I usually just clasp my hands together as I'm doing it. So, and I usually do about 10 of these. Now keep in mind, I'm not a professional yoga instructor or like fitness instructor, okay? So I'm just doing whatever feels right to me. And usually whatever feels right is right. Now to open up your chest again, you're gonna clasp your hands together and then just straighten out your arms. And you should really feel it like opening up your chest. I usually hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, now you've probably seen this stretch a lot. Now, there's a thing about certain types of stretches. There's static stretching and active stretching. Static means you just hold it for a long time like this. And active is just kind of like stretching, but keep on moving. Now, you may not have known this. I did not know it until my instructor, Matt, told me this. Static stretching can actually lower your explosiveness when you're actually training if you warm up that way. Because apparently if like you do too much static stretching and your muscles are really loose, then you just get a little bit sluggish. So always try to keep moving when you're warming up. So to make this an active stretch, you basically just hold it for about 2 seconds and then just loosen it out. So like that, and then hold it for a few seconds. This one really, I really feel this one in my shoulder, so I use this a lot because I always feel my shoulders being pretty sore after I train. And then the other side, I do about 5 of these since it takes a little bit longer. Now, you've seen this one where you bring your arms behind your head and then you grab one elbow. We're gonna do this, except instead of just holding it there, we're gonna pull twice. So 1, 2, and then just drop it down. And then I do about 5 of those as well. So 1, 2, other side. Okay, so that's basically stretching the chest, shoulders, biceps, triceps, and neck so far. Now, a little bit lower, we're gonna think about the torso, but first we're gonna do the elbows, which is a joint, your forearm, which is the muscles, and then your wrist, which is another joint. So for your elbows, just this, hands like you're gonna hold something, hold your elbow, and then make circular motions. You don't want them to be really wide so you don't punch yourself in the face, you want it to be pretty quick. And then I just don't really count, I just usually do this for about 10 seconds. And then the other side, or the other way at least. And then the other elbow. Anyway, after you do that, just a little bit faster of a warm-up, a little more warming up the muscle instead of just stretching it out, is just going like this. Try to keep your elbow in the same place and just make as wide of a circle as possible with your fist. So I usually do about 5 of these on each side. Now for your forearms, the muscle, I warm it up just by doing these, pretty simple. A lot of people say this is a wrist warm-up when you go like this and go like this, but I really feel it like along the forearm, so hey, if it feels right, it usually is right. I usually hold it for about 5 to 10 seconds. All of these are probably like 5 to 10 seconds unless I say otherwise. Then the other way. This is actually really good because this will basically be my warm-up because I want to drill like con gainers on lower landings after this video. FYI, some vlogging inception for you. We're doing the other side, FYI. for your information. I'm actually making a vlog inside of this video. So yeah, in probably like tomorrow, you guys will probably see the vlog of me making this video. Weird, right? So yeah, just stretch it out. Now, this one is for the wrist and kind of to warm up the forearm. Keep your forearms together, clasp yourself like you're holding your hand, and then just circular motions. I usually do like 5 to 10 of these, 5 to 10 rolls, I guess. Now, other way. Okay. Now, to really warm up the wrists, we're gonna get down to the ground. So you've probably seen this already. Just sit on your butt, doesn't really matter. Put your hands on the ground, all fours, and then just put weight onto your wrist, just to lean forward. You're not trying to resist or anything. You're just trying to stretch out the wrists. Do some circular motions. Since this is my stretching routine, and I'm a parkour athlete, like, there's no really strict schedule I follow. I always do all of these stretches, but not like every single time 5 to 10. Like, it really just depends on how I'm feeling. If I'm already pretty warmed up, I've already been moving, I might not do as many. If I'm really tight or really cold, then I'll do more of them. After you've done those and feel good, you're gonna just do a little bit more intense version, which is pointing your fingers to where your knees are, and then the same thing, except you're gonna lean back to stretch it out and step forward. Just like that. And then do some circular motions with your chest and your head. Maybe go the other way. And then the next one is more preference just because I have really, really bad wrists, like really weak wrists, I guess, because it takes a lot to warm them up. This depends if you also are on grass or warming up on concrete or carpet like I am. This next one, it will be stretching it the other way. So you're gonna put your fingers, the back of your hand on the ground, and then you're just gonna do the same thing. And then, yeah. I usually do this for about 10 to 15 seconds. Okay. Now, as I said before, there's like stretching out the muscles and then actually warming them up, like activating them. So, we've stretched the neck, the shoulders, the biceps, triceps, like our whole arm and our chest. So since we're already on the ground, we're going to activate all of those muscles by doing some push-ups. I usually do just 5 really slow ones just to warm it up. This takes me back to when I was originally vlogging saying, I'm gonna do 60 push-ups every single day. And I actually haven't forgotten about that. I just stopped because it kept on killing like my power for like kip-ups and stuff like that. So actual training. Now I know I didn't do 5, but whatever. The next one, if this is all preference, is wrist push-ups. These really help me in my wrists, honestly. Like, it might hurt for you, but if you stretch out your wrists enough, then you'll eventually be able to do them. So basically, you're on the back of your hands again, you point your fingers, your fingers, to the sky, so that you have a little bit of tension there, instead of just having them really loose. Push-up position, and then push-up. But after you do those push-ups, you might want to stretch it the other way again. Just like that. And yeah, we're all done with the upper body. So yeah, let's get to the torso. Now, as I said before, you gotta think about your joints and your muscles. So I guess really tiny joints would be your spine. I don't know, whatever. To stretch out your spine, you're going to think about bringing your arms to one side and then pointing your opposite foot to the other side. Come on. And then you want to keep on looking straight. You don't want to like let your head drag to the side. So it's gonna look like this. And I usually do about 10 of these, because I can really feel it in my back. And if you guys follow this channel, you know I have back problems right now, so this really helps. Remember, try to keep looking forward. Okay, now this one I honestly haven't been doing much, but I just started doing. Basically, just moving your hips around, keeping your chest and your legs in the same place. I usually just do about 5 of these since they're pretty slow. Yeah. Now hopefully you can feel that kind of stretch out your lower back. And now, for the muscle part, your lats. So, you're going to clasp again, and then point them downwards so your palms are like showing. Point them straight up to the sky, and then just like kind of bounce to the side. So you should really feel it on the side of your torso. So there, And remember, no static stretching, so you want to keep it moving. And now for more back stretches, because your back is so susceptible to really hard landings. You really want to stretch it out as much as possible and warm it up. The first one is that very, very iconic. Wait, is it downward dog? I don't even remember, honestly, but it's just this. So we're gonna do first, I always do, first a like non-active version just to stretch it out, and then an active version. So the first one is you're just gonna be completely limp on the ground. You're gonna put your hands next to your shoulders and really slowly push back. Your back isn't resisting or anything like that. And your whole body is on the ground. So just do that for about 10 seconds. And then you should feel and see a big difference in this. Then I'll move forward so you can see the difference. This is like an active version of that. So you're going to push up completely with your arms, but you also want to clench your back and like try to push up with your legs. So it's gonna look like this. You don't want to be completely limp. Then look towards the sky if you want. Then you should feel your back stretch out a lot. Okay, so we've kind of stretched out our spine, like kind of forward and backward, but now for like side to side more. So for this, you're gonna have your knees together and then just obviously drop them to one side and try to have both of your shoulders on the ground. For me, because I've been stretching a lot, this is pretty easy. It may be easy for you, I don't know. And just hold it for a few seconds just to warm it up first. Then the other side. I really have no idea how this stretching video is gonna go because some people, like a lot of people have asked for it, but I just don't feel like people like stay that long to like stretch the whole time, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. Now, if that's really easy, the next one is keeping one leg straight and then one leg bent, and then trying to touch your knee over your straight leg so that it's more of a stretch. And once again, trying to get your both shoulders to the ground. This one's pretty hard for me, honestly. To like truly get my both shoulders, like both shoulder blades, and that knee to the ground. Now the other way. So straight leg, bent the knee, try to get both shoulder blades on the ground and the knee as well. I honestly can't do this. Oh, dead battery. This next one is to stretch out your lower back as well again, but more of the other way, like this way instead of that way, and kind of your butt area, like your glutes if you're really tight there too. So this is just called child's pose. You could either reach your hands in front of you or keep them behind like this. Basically, just try to touch your head toward the ground. This is really hard for me right now just because of the sciatica. Like, if I bend too far that way, it feels like there's like a pain like right here, which is annoying, but hey, if you can do it, more power to you. I usually hold it for about 15 seconds because it takes a while for your glutes and your butt to loosen up. And then towards the end of this 15 seconds, you shouldn't feel as you're like forcing your head to the ground, but more of just resting it on the ground. Okay. And for that stretch, you want to make sure that your knees are completely together. If they're like this and they're really spread out, then it's going to be really easy to touch your head to the ground. So remember, keep them tight, keep them together. Now this last one, Jesus, I know, we're doing a lot of stretches for one body part, your spine, right? But hey, your spine's very important. Is just basically squatting, because like it really stretches your back out. Not too much to say. You've squatted before probably. Just things to keep in mind. For me personally, how I squat, I don't have my feet like separated like this because that stretches more of kind of, what is that? Kind of this area. And since we want to stretch the lower back, I try to keep my feet pointing this way and then just try to get my elbows to touch the ground. Now, I said about static and active stretching that you don't want to do static stretching, and like for that child's pose, we were just like in the same position. We weren't constantly moving, but we weren't really stretching a muscle. We were more just loosening up our spine. So I guess that's where it can get a little gray. Just stretch it out. You should feel your really lower back just opening up a bit. And yeah. Okay, so we stretched basically all of our upper body. Now to focus on our lower body. First part of our lower body is our hips and our butt. So to stretch out the butt muscle, you've probably seen this stretch before if you've stretched at all. There are a couple ways to do this, but the first way that I usually do it is going to a bench or something and then putting one foot on the opposite side of my body and then just leaning down slowly. And then putting all of my weight there. Then you should really feel it in that butt muscle. You don't want to like lean to the side because then you're not really stretching it out. You want to try to stay forward. And this is really, really painful for me on this side because that's where the sciatica is, but after I do the stretch, the sciatica isn't half as bad. Ah, the pain. Okay, and then as always, the other side. See, like this one is tight, like I can feel my butt being really tight, but it's not painful. Like this one I can do relatively easy. It's just about getting that stretch. Before I started stretching this much, I didn't realize how tight my butt actually was and how loose it could be. Oh my god, that sounds so wrong, but you know what I mean. Oh my god. This one is just a variation of the previous one, where if you don't have a bench, you just basically do a one-footed squat and put that one leg. You're basically using your leg as a bench, and then you basically just squat down, and you'll feel it just as much as well. Now the next one to stretch out our thighs and kind of our hips is this. So you're going to be next to a table or something relatively hip height, and then you're going to be standing to the side of it, not towards it, to the side. And then you're going to put your foot on it. So you still want kind of your hips and your chest to be facing this way, and then just grab your foot if you can. If you can't, then a progression would just be to try to grab it, just to reach as far as you can. But if you can grab it and you're pretty flexible, then the next one is to bring your other hand all the way over your head. You don't want to cheat it like this, okay? Because that means then your chest is going to be starting to face forward. You want to reach it around and over your head, and just like that. This will stretch out your lats and your thigh and your whole leg and your hip. And usually I would, if I'm warming down, just hold it. But since it's active, we need to do active stretching so we don't lose explosiveness. We're just going to be going back and forth. I usually do about 10 of these because they're really important. And then this is the other side. Lighting is horrible, but YOLO, whatever. Remember, you don't want to cheat it by just looking forward. Remember, try to keep looking to the side. Now this one will look very, very similar, but it will stretch something different. It's going to be a different muscle in your thigh, basically. So instead of facing to the side of the table, you're going to face the table, and you're going to just put your foot forward and straight, and then have your chest keep looking forward. You don't want to kind of cheat it to the side, because it just makes it a bit easier by reaching to the side. Keep the chest forward, and then just reach. So 1, and then just reach a couple times. Reach it. If you can already reach for your foot, then reach as far as possible. And then just do that a couple times. The key to this one is to keep your hips looking forward. You don't want to have them to the side and just your chest forward. Your whole body needs to be forward. And then the other side. This side is really hard for me because, again, as I said, sciatica. So we've warmed up basically the back part of that leg, so now to warm up the quads, we're just going to do this simple stretch. Grab the wrist and then pull. You don't want to hold it here, you want to pull twice and then let go. This is what I do at least. So 1, 2, and other side. 1, 2, other side. 1, 2, other side. Do it about 5 times on each. This is a very important stretch because your quads do a lot of the work in parkour. Okay. This one is basically kind of like an active version of those stretches. So to warm it up, you're gonna have a wall in front of you, preferably if there's a railing. Grab that railing. You're going to swing one leg all the way to the other side and then back to the other side. So, yeah, not too much to explain. Just make sure you don't hit your foot against the ground or against the wall. So that's gonna look like this. Try to stretch it. It's not about speed really, it's about getting your foot as high as possible on each side. Okay, so finally for like the bottom part of our leg, I'm blanking out. Our calves, oh my god. Wow. You're basically gonna want some stairs, and you're basically gonna do calf shrugs, I think they're called. But instead of just keeping them all the way down, you're gonna keep one leg for about 5 seconds on each, and then you're just going to kind of do some reps of just going back up, so it's more warming it up. So, 5 to 10 seconds on each foot. And then up and down. Now this one is easier to do if you have shoes on, but basically ankle rolls. It's gonna be hard with, I'm too lazy to put shoes on, but they basically look like this. Yeah, again, if you put shoes on, it'll be a lot easier. You'll be stretching more of your ankle instead of your toes. I'm just too lazy to put on shoes right now because I know I won't be training for another like hour or so. I'll definitely be doing them right before I train though. So that's a very important one to do to avoid ankle injuries. This next one kind of stretches out the ankle a bit more in one way. I think it helps. I don't see too many people do it, but I think it helps. So you're basically just gonna act like you're rolling your ankle and then just slowly put your weight on it. And then for me, I think it helps just because it stretches it out more. In case the possibility that my ankle does land this way, it'll be a bit more flexible and won't be injured as easily. And then I just hold it for a couple seconds. Then I do the other foot. Then I sometimes walk a few steps like that. And yeah. So the only really activation type exercise we did in this warm-up session was the push-ups because it like got the blood flowing. All of the rest of those stretches for like the lower body were more of kind of just loosening the muscle up. But honestly, I don't have any specific exercises or workout routines to like get the blood flowing. I just kind of jump around when I'm training and just don't do everything as hard as possible as soon as I start. I just like slowly work it up. Progressions, remember? So instead of working on double corks as soon as I'm done warming up, I'll just do a couple of precisions that I know I can do. And that's basically my activation for the lower body. But yeah, that's my tutorial on how to stretch and how to warm up for parkour. Really, I mean, there's no specific way to warm up for parkour because there's so many aspects to parkour that use so many different parts of the body that you kind of just need to warm up everything just in case. So if you don't want to follow this specific stretch routine or workout or warm-up routine, Just think about trying to stretch every single part of your body. But anyway, that's it for me. If this helped you, I really hope it did. But if it did, please remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell button. You should also ring the notification bell button because I'll be making a vlog today inside this video. I don't know how this is gonna work. For tomorrow. So yeah, stay tuned for that. See you in the next one. Peek it for snout. Au revoir!
I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you. Talk like